everybody.
Welcome to Get Her Too podcast.
It's good to see everyone. It's good to see you.
You too.
We have a cameo appearance by Gunner. We are at Natalie's house today, not at my place with my dog because she had foot surgery. And I call her, what did I call you? Scooter McGee. Scooter McGee, because she's got one of those knee scooters.
And I just am thankful for an open floor plan in my house and hard surface flooring because I zoom around. I even chase Gunner around the house.
And your bedroom's even on the first floor, which is really nice.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect.
You don't realize how nice that is until you really need it.
Oh, yeah.
So we hope that you are entering the fall happy and healthy. And we have a great show today.
Yeah. We're going to talk about sex, baby.
We're going to talk about sex?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm not getting Laurie Handlers on here for nothing.
Okay. I'm ready.
So Laurie Handlers is a dame. I'm in a dames group with her. It's out of Denver, Colorado. And I met her at the Fun Friends 2 years ago. And she is one a hoot. Loves to dance. She's in her 70s. She just got married 2 years ago.
Did you just expose her age on?
Yeah, she said I could.
Okay.
Mindy. Anyway, and she's just she's written a book. She does amazing workshops, which maybe we should get into a little bit, with singles and couples. And the title of it is, what is it?
Saving couples from Extinction.
Yes. Which we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Yeah, I say.
Love marriage, love all of that. And also, Mindy and I are sitting here not married. But we've learned a lot from that.
Yes.
Which is some of the stuff that Laurie's going to talk about as well.
Right.
So let's bring her on.
Without further ado,
Laurie Handlers.
Hey.
How are you?
Thank you. And yay, dames. A plug for the dames, too.
Yes, the dames it's kind of like your church. Like, it's like a breath of fresh air. Do you like that?
No. If you said that to me, I wouldn't have joined.
No.
Bad analogy, Natalie. Bad analogy.
Some people liked it. I'm a spiritual person, and I love it because of that feeling that you get that you just do a connection call, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so grounded. And I'm so in the room with like-minded women like me that struggle with the same things, and we help each other out and support each other. And that is that's gold.
Okay, that's great. I never belonged to a church that was like that, so that's why I love it. Anyway,
Exactly.
But I love the dames. It's great. Also, let me just say I have two books. Both books are named the same thing. That's like a series, and the third one is going to come out next year. So they're called Sex and Happiness. This is the first one. It has glare on it. Sex and Happiness, The Tantric Laws of Intimacy. And then this one is my second book, Sex and Happiness. It Gets Better with Age.
Are those your legs, Laurie?
No, those are not my legs, but
Darn it.
my legs are good. And it was okay that you said how old I am because actually I'm 77. And I feel very proud of being my years and being still in the game. This book is about being able to still be in the game no matter what. Like just because people turn 50 doesn't mean they dry up.
Oh, 50. Hey, Laurie. Now 50 is when it starts.
That's right.
A better chapter.
50's the new
That's
I'm
right.
telling you.
70's the
That's
new
right.
50. That's
Bring
just how
it
is.
on.
So my new topic, but we're not going to talk about my new topic today, but I just came from a stint. I did 5 speaking engagements on the East Coast, and the first one was about women going through peri and menopause, and this is my next focus. So you'll have to invite me back because I'm starting to really address that group, although I've been through it 20 years ago still.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you're speaking about it because more and more people are speaking about it. Women are out there suffering. I might have emailed my doctor, not a direct email, saying look, you kind of poo-pooed my symptoms and said, basically just get through it.
No.
And I was like, no, there's so many intelligent, successful women out there. We are struggling. We're getting called into HR departments because we're not acting like we usually act. We're suffering. We're
That's
not
right.
sleeping, which causes depression. Anyway, yes, and that affects your sex life too. Because if you're
So
not
new
getting sleep,
topic. I'll come back. I love to talk about it, but today I want to talk about the other thing women suffer about and men suffer about, which is about finding and keeping love,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's not easy. And we have all been, you remember Malcolm X used to say, I've been hoodwinked and bamboozled. So
That's right.
all
That's right.
we have all been
That's
hoodwinked and
right.
bamboozled by Walt Disney. We all think we're going to meet the one and live happily ever after. And we have no skills. We have nothing. We have nothing
no,
that allows us to think even that we could possibly pull that off. You wouldn't
right,
open a business and think you were going to live happily ever after, and you don't know anything about anything.
right,
We
right.
don't. We don't. But we all, I don't know what you studied. I studied algebra, geometry, earth science, history, geography, social studies. I speak French. I'm studying Spanish, but none of that,
No, not about the psychology of the mind, men. Yeah.
nothing set me up to succeed. So I didn't. And now I am. But I met my husband when I was 67.
So is that your first marriage? Yeah, first
Wow.
marriage.
Hell
So you
yeah.
got married at 75?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Now, how old?
I'm starting a new fad. You were at the conference where I had to skip around the room of 150 women.
Yes.
And that
Yep,
was like
in your
that was
boots.
that was my what do they call those things? That was like a
Bachelorette.
flash mob thing,
Uh,
or a mosh pit that like the women were like,
That's great.
you were
That's
definitely an
great.
inspiration for sure, for sure.
thank you.
So
It
some
was
people, go ahead.
I
Go.
was just going to ask Lori to our listeners a little information about you before we start getting too far into it,
sure.
because there's a lot of people listening who don't know you and don't know your background. And I think that that would really help.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into the really back. I
Yeah.
mean, I was an elementary school teacher, really back. I have also been a corporate trainer and organization development person, which would qualify me still to be in the dames, but that I didn't love those careers. What I love is eliminating shame, fear, and guilt from the fact that we have a body. We all have a body, and it's not a talking head. Like the true north in our body is in the body. It's not like what I think about my body, how it looks, or whether this looks good on me, or I like these. Like what is true is what I'm feeling in any given moment about what's happening or what I'm causing or what I'm creating in the world. So I am a sex educator. I'm an intimacy coach. I coach other people. I have an apprentice program where I teach people how to coach and facilitate people in the area of embodiment, sex, and intimacy. So that's what I do in the world. And I've been doing it for almost 30 years.
Why did you initially get into this line of work? What really got you to say, this is really important?
Well, I knew that it was always important, and my mother wasn't happy about that.
Of course
I
not,
was
huh?
I was very self-exploratory when I was a little girl. I wanted to know everything about my body. My body felt great. And then when I was in junior high or whatever, high school, I only wanted to be with boys. My hormones were raging and I wanted to explore. And my mother and my grandmother were like, this girl's going to get in trouble. Watch her like a hawk. So then when I went to college, so I went to college in 1965, and that was during a big war, and there were, you know, things going on in the streets and people rioting and demonstrating, etc. And I was one of those like let's make love, not war people. And I found that, first of all, I had physical sex, sexual intercourse for the first time when I was 18. And I thought, I waited for this?
Yeah.
Mm.
What was I saving? This was terrible. This was like not a good experience.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I know I
Most people's first time. Yeah. You don't really know.
and so I knew in my gut that there was something more to it, but that wasn't it. And so for the first few years I tried to talk to the people that I selected to have sex with about it. And they were they were like frat guys. They were they were like,
I'm sure that's what they were wanting to talk about.
she's like, this girl is a little cuckoo.
Right. And they don't know much.
Oh God, no.
So I had this interest and I knew there was more. There had to be more. This was just not, this was not worth waiting for. This was not worth saving anything for. Yet, this might have been something sacred. This might have been something that, when we think about it, this produces humans, which are a miracle, because scientists don't really know how that happens. They tell you what happens. A
Right.
sperm fertilizes an egg, but they don't know how to describe this miracle of life that can happen. So in my heart of hearts, I knew there was something more, and I just had to keep tabling it because there was nobody who wanted to talk to me about it. And my mother definitely didn't want me to talk to anybody about it, and that was how that went. So roll them forward, 1986. I lived in Boston at the time. I was a subscriber to Yoga Journal, and Yoga Journal came right in the mail, and there was an article about a very famous Tantra teacher named Margot Anand. And I read that article. I still have it. If you look behind me, there's a file cabinet. That article is still in there. I went, this is it. I've been looking for this. Someone knows. Somebody figured this out. It's not just me. There's a whole science and a set of practices that go along with it.
Yeah.
But there was no internet, so I didn't know how to find her.
Right. Go to the library, ask for
Yeah, I didn't.
one. Can you define that word? Because sometimes
Tantric.
tantric,
Yeah.
because sometimes people do, some of us do know that word and some of us don't.
Hmm. It's good. It's
Nice
a great.
class, by the way.
Thank you. So my teacher, who wasn't Margot Anand, I didn't stumble upon her. I found somebody else in 1996. I waited 10 years after the first discovery. And my teacher said Tantra means expansion through awareness. And I remember sitting there going, expand what? And what awareness of what?
Right.
It just didn't, it didn't do it for me. And so when I started teaching, which was 1999, 2000, when I started teaching Tantra, I had taught many other embodied things before that, but this was when I got into the actual practice of Tantra. I called it transformation through pleasure. And
Okay.
people went, oh, I get that. I can see that. So the thing about it is, when you focus on pleasure, everything that isn't pleasure will come up to be dealt with. Everything. So then what happens is one expands. Like the whole being expands in these practices and in this pursuit. A person expands because our education, as I pointed out about Walt Disney, our education is so limited about ourselves and about interacting with another or
Right.
others. So I came back to expansion through awareness. But it really, Tantra itself, the Sanskrit word means to weave. And I would say we weave body, mind, and spirit. And the practices involve breath, sound, and movement. They're very simple, but they're super profound. They take us on an inward journey before they would take us on an external journey. So that's my definition of it. Yeah.
Perfect. So some people can find their person easily. Some people can't. But it seems like when you find a person, it's hard to keep that going and to keep that surviving. Tell us what we're missing there and what to look for and what to do.
Okay. So again, this has to do with some cultural messages, et cetera, about like being a woman or being a man. First of all, what I just defined as Tantra is really critical and important for people to find out who they really are and to find and to fill their own well. So
Okay.
being in love cannot work if we outsource the love to somebody else who we want to love us, but we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
This.
So is everyone in their 20s for sure listening to
And 30s.
and 30s
And even 40s.
because that's what we did in the beginning, right?
Yes.
You
We
don't
were
make me
taught that.
happy like so and so or whatever. I
Yes.
used to say things like, you don't do what my sister does for me. And it's like, well, no.
Well, and seeking
You know?
validation from outside sources to
Yeah.
make us feel complete.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
We just crave it, we need it, but that's not what it's about.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. So in some of my courses, which have to do primarily with individuals, although some couples come to those, we teach boundaries, energy. What is my true yes? Can I actually say no? Could I say no without the fear of being rejected? Even if I am rejected, can I still stand in my no? Like, who am I? And what brings me happiness? And keeping my mouth shut when I mean no will get me into some more trauma, I guess, that I don't want to call to myself. So in our courses with couples, we do courses that have couples and singles because they learn from each other. The first pillar is self-love. You have to be in love with yourself, not like
Not egotistically,
yeah,
but just
not what's the new buzzword?
all of yourself.
Not narcissistic, but enough self-involvement that I'm not outsourcing all my pleasure and all my hopes and all my dreams onto another person who can't possibly live up to that. They can't do it for us even if they love us.
Exactly.
Lori,
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You're really making me think about this can be in relationships, this can be parent child, this can be friends, of people pleasers. Those who are truly people pleasers and they want to do well for others and they want to do all these nice things for those that they love in their lives, but then attached to that is this expectation that they'll receive it back. And when they don't, it all crumbles because that self-love is not there. Right? They're waiting for something in return to fill that cup. What would you say to those people who struggle with that?
Well, so you just opened up like two big cans of worms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two more podcasts.
One is that women don't make direct requests very well. They hint and cajole. That's what they were taught. They're still being taught that. The ramifications of that go all the way into business, all the way into family, all the way into everything. So one, women don't make direct requests. And women have a pattern called expectation, disappointment, drama. So so I teach about that. That's like the feminine pattern of the setup that never works. And so there's a lot to be said about that. One, we have to learn to make direct requests. And in order to do that, we have to know what pleases us and what we want. And most of the time when I ask people, anybody, women and men, if you could have anything, what do you want? They don't know.
Yeah.
So in my first book, in the Tantric Laws of Intimacy, I think chapter 2 or chapter 3 is called Please Yourself. Find out what pleases you by doing self-research so that when someone says to you, what do you want? What do you need? You could say, I want this. I need this. Rather just than, these are my boundaries. Don't cross them. Like, this is what I want. This is how I want to be related to. And these are the things that would satisfy me in my interaction with you, in my relating with you. So it's big, it's very big what you just, I mean, that's like a whole disappointment, expectation, disappointment, drama is it's every song that you learned growing up and that I learned growing up. It doesn't matter as long as there's rock and roll and even before rock and roll. Every song was expectation, disappointment, drama, and codependency.
Codependency.
So
We've done some stuff on that, boy, I tell you what.
we are in the dark. We are flying blind when it comes to relating to another human being. We just expect that glass slipper is going to come and we're going to be on a white horse and we're going to live happily ever after. We don't know how.
Now, do you talk at all about soothing mechanisms for yourself? Because I think when I've been in a position lately where, trying to get comfortable with the discomfort of quiet, or maybe I'm not getting exactly what I need from someone in a text or something. And that little voice in my head comes crawling up, and maybe I feel like I want a Diet Pepsi or a treat or a distraction. And I try and talk myself down from that and say, okay, look, no, you don't know really what's happening. Just relax, soothe yourself, like take care of yourself. Because I don't think we've really learned to love each other or how to soothe ourselves.
No, we don't. So, okay, so my methods, they're highly, I think my methods are highly controversial. I'm a huge proponent of full-on cathartic emotional release. So
Yes, you took us through this. You took us through this,
Yes.
didn't you?
I did.
I just did this last week.
You did? It was very interesting.
I have about 12 or 13 mechanisms that I teach people. Some are quieter than others. But, right, so we were doing Osho's gibberish.
Okay, yes.
And yeah, I don't care. Like to me, I have to learn how to tend to myself. So once I let go of the angst, for me it was anger. So I had I caused drama by starting fights or, being angry with people. And when I realized that nobody out there was making me angry, I had the anger. I didn't know why. I know why now, but I didn't know why for years. I knew that I had to deal with it, with my own anger. So I didn't have I had plenty of wine.
Yes, I forgot that
Some of
part.
that made me angrier and angrier, So
Yeah.
so I have a full arsenal of emotional release techniques that I teach people, and I don't care which one or two. If I don't care if they don't like 10 of them, but they like two, they need to do two.
Yeah.
When you say controversial, do you mean that it's just so uncomfortable for people that they don't want any part of it? Or what does that word mean for you?
Or is it illegal, Laurie?
Well, that's fair too.
No, it's cathartic emotional release means it's big noise, it's big and loud, and some people's nervous systems don't like big and loud because of whatever they've been through. So in my workshops, I give them earplugs. I tell them they can go out onto the lawn and do it while everybody else is inside doing it. Like I give people the space they need so that other people's stuff won't overlap them.
Yeah.
Some people, a lot of people, in the old days, I used to say, who is empathic? And, one or two people would raise their hands. Now everyone raises their hands. So I don't know if they're all empathic or not.
Everyone is.
Everybody now is trauma informed. So I don't know. All I know is my skills work. That people get to a place where they can be neutral.
Yeah, so going to that place of neutrality in
And
a soothing mechanism, which might be
yeah,
interesting to maybe tag in this episode, maybe some links to some ideas where people can get an idea, whether that's your website or something, on how to
I
do that. And it's very woo-woo to some people, right?
it is.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
I mean, it was a little bit out of our zone.
Yeah,
For sure.
I
That's
don't
good.
consider myself very woo at all, even though I'm in the realm of spirituality and sexuality. I'm the of many of my colleagues, I consider myself to be the most tied to the earth. I say to them, people, I am not woo, and then people say to me, you are woo. So I don't care. I don't care. I also cajole people into transformation. Like I make them laugh at themselves.
Gotta laugh at yourself,
That's part
even
maybe.
during sex.
Yeah, you have to. Well, that's part of your expression.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about some fun things related to sex. You good with that, Mindy, or did you have another
Yeah, well,
question?
I was going to actually just make sure that we were talking about the couples and
Yeah.
maintaining the relationships so
Yes.
that it didn't
Yeah.
bring into extinction what you started with of
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I also wanted to say the exact name of the course because it's not. So our tagline is couples are an endangered species. But that's not the name of the course. The course's name is Extraordinary Lovers.
Okay.
Extraordinary
Perfect.
Lovers
Let's go with that.
Experience. And what it is to be an extraordinary lover is a little extra.
Okay, now what do you mean by extra? Come on, Laurie, give it to us.
Ordinary is fighting, arguing, being
Okay.
right, being like my parents, being like my rock and roll songs. That's ordinary. Being like Hollywood. And that's ordinary. Extra is I'm going to create oxytocin in my partner because I can. And I'm going to do it on purpose. And I'm going to put extra effort into that rather than cortisol. Really, it's chemistry.
Right, right.
But
So
it's
the
not chemistry like we talked about before we went on air. Like
right,
we talked about the chemistry of trauma that leads us to the same partner over and over and over and over again.
right.
No, it's chemistry in the chemicals that we're producing in each other's brains and systems. And I could say that thing and I know it's going to produce cortisol, or I could say something else and say, we can talk about this. How can we return to love? And I can produce oxytocin.
Yeah. And I came from a background where we over communicated. So I have felt so many years like I should be able to communicate everything I'm thinking. And
Mm,
I've learned that that is not okay. I've also learned that I'm a very curious person, but it's okay for my curiosity to be not be answered all the time. And I
right,
think we've talked about this a little bit on the
Excellent.
podcast.
right.
That's excellent. Curiosity, by the way, is a really good stance to come from when we're relating to another person that we love. Like being curious about what just happened rather than, you always,
Right.
Yeah.
do you know?
Yeah. So in the beginning of a relationship, right, you're discovering each
Mhm.
other's bodies. It's fun, it's great. Maybe you're doing something for the first time together that you've done with nobody else. It's fabulous. And then when is that turning point when you have to really start watching the cortisol versus the oxytocin?
Good. It's a great question. I say that I want the person to be in love with me, not with my mask or my pretend me or the me that I'm showing to the world right now that doesn't see the real me. So I want to be in love with the real person, and I want the person who's in love with me to be in love with the real me. So very early in a relationship, it's really important to have boundaries. Very early in a relationship, it's really important to vet somebody and see if your values match. It's not,
That's it right there.
that's chemistry, but that's a different chemistry than this person's physique is my type, or this person, that's not, that's a different thing operating. That's a whole other thing.
And
So,
Lori, it's so interesting because most women, in particular at least, never take the time to inventory their values. What are my values? I don't in my 20s and 30s, I didn't even know what they were. I never gave it a thought, and I know a lot of women don't. And so,
Yeah.
therefore, we're not making decisions based on our values because we don't even know what those are.
And they change over time.
they do change over time. Also, well, they say, I'm just trying to think of the exact statement. It's something about women make a business deal in terms of like who they in the
Will they
there's
be a good father?
yeah, will this person's genetics be a good father? Will they be a
Yeah.
good provider?
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to what?
What were the questions I was asking?
Oh, I'm glad that was my question.
Oh, Lori. My God.
Well, when I'm in a relationship with someone for about 7 months, and I brought something up to him that was kind of affecting me from my past relationship, and I knew that. I called it out. And I spoke what I wanted to say, and this really concerns me, blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me and said, I will, and I do bring it up when I think it needs to be brought up. And then he looked at me and he said, what do you need from me, love?
That's a beautiful response.
And then boundaries is you're talking about, you know, and putting me not in my place, but putting me in my place in the sense of this is yours, this is mine, and what do you need from me to feel safe, basically. And my eyes welled up with tears. And I'm not a crier at all. And he said, are you crying? And I said, I think I am. Because no one's ever done that so beautifully, so healthily, because we are both strong women. And we don't want a man or a person in our life to just, happy life, happy wife type of feeling. I hate that saying.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, that one.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, we don't want
But
that.
there is something to that.
There is.
Yeah. We want someone to challenge us and have it be a communication back and forth that, we aren't always right.
So it's really good that you said those things. And it's really great what he said back. I would have said to him, who trained you? Because that's someone who's trained to ask. It could be where you live. Do you live near Boulder?
No.
No.
But I mean, we are in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, you're in the Pacific. Okay, so you're in an area.
Yes.
In a sense,
But
we
I
are.
mean, literally though, I have not heard that from any person other than like maybe a therapist, really, which is a good question. But he relates a lot to his mom and dad and he has a lot of self-worth. And
That's
obviously,
awesome.
and he's not perfect, and I'm not perfect, emotionally, physically, whatever. But he doesn't make excuses for it. Anyway, enough about.
I love it. I love that he said that. I mean, he may also be familiar with nonviolent communication, so that's a very adequate response to what do you need? And here's the thing we would say, and I don't know, I'm trying to think about where my husband got this from. I'm going to say he got it from Alison Armstrong, who does a lot of stuff on men and women.
Yes, I was going to ask you what your thoughts on that.
I love Allison, but when I had a podcast, she was on my show. She's awesome. So she would say, certify your partner, meaning like when he said, what do you need from me, love? That's like, certify me in knowing how to be with you.
Okay,
When
so
I'm this, like my husband asked me this, if I'm pissed off at something, I'm going on, he says to me, because I don't want to be fixed. That's the thing. So he'll say to me, how do you need me to listen? Do you need me to come up with any kind of solutions, or do you need me to just hold the bucket?
That's right.
and I'm trying to get better at asking that question to others because I'm a fix-it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
So,
so good for
yeah, so
parents.
that's so good. But he's trained. When the first
Right.
time he said to me something like that, I said to him, who trained you? And he said to me, Alison Armstrong. And I went, oh, that's great.
So let's take a moment. Alison Armstrong is the author of The Queen's Code.
Yes.
And I just got her book and I'm reading it. And that book is not cheap. Like it's not a $9.99 on Amazon. This thing is $36 paper book. And you can't get it on Audible. And I was like, damn it, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And I have heard from people that it is life changing in their relationships. And
It
before
is.
we get out of this honeymoon period, I want to know the Queen's Code because
Wonderful. Wonderful. You're doing something really, really wonderful. And I would encourage you to consider coming to Extraordinary Lovers also, because there's a lot of stuff that we do that comes from her and then also stuff that we've created.
yeah.
It's better to get training, I say, in a newer relating than in one that's been going on for 40 years because you're not set in your ways of arguing and posturing, etc. I like to tell people to come before you hit the bumps. And
Well,
you're going to hit bumps.
yeah, right.
So, Laurie, with a little bit of time left, I want to go back to the sex piece of this conversation.
Yeah.
Mm.
For couples who were so excited and enthralled with each other at the beginning for however long that honeymoon phase lasts sexually, to then they're married for a while or they've been dating for a while and that slump begins, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, whatever happened? Why do we not have intimacy in our relationship anymore? Or if we do, it's seldom. Why does that happen, and how can we respond to that so that it's positive?
Many things cause it, or let's say a few things cause it. One, boredom, same routine in bed every single time,
Right.
boring lover. I'm going to tell on men. Men don't learn how to do sex from each other. They don't talk about it. They learn from porn. We're not porn stars, so they don't know what to do. And there's a cosmic joke. When men are really excited, they speed up. And when women are really excited, they want everything to slow down. So that's a cosmic joke right there. And no one tells them that. And if you or I tell them that in an intimate moment, they get all butthurt. So, yeah, so that's one thing, boredom, like just not knowing how to actually, like, they once had, you must have seen this, they had this thing, they said women's sexuality, no, men's sexuality, like a light switch on, off. And they showed women's sexuality like an airplane, the control panels in an airplane, like,
We can be a puzzle to
Oh,
figure out.
man.
so
Right.
that's, okay, so one thing is that. Two is transitions, life changes, have a child, raise the child, grow the child up, the child leaves, that's another big transition. Peri and menopause, huge transition. Death of a
Parents
parent,
listening.
huge transitions.
Lose
Lots
a
of things.
job.
Yeah, job transitions, those things all affect sex. These things affect sex. These are instant dopamine.
She's holding up her phone if
Yeah.
anyone's just
Yeah.
listening. Yeah.
Okay, okay, then there's an overall, okay, because we've all grown up in the patriarchy. I'm not like going to go into a whole patriarchy thing here, but because we have, women don't feel safe anywhere, like really walking down the street, driving their car, going into a place by themselves, traveling alone, so many things. And when we select someone to be with, we usually select them because they feel safer than others. Hopefully, we select them based on that. And then it turns out that the way they speak to us or the way they are or something happens, and we start accumulating not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe. And we don't know how to talk about that because we don't really know that it's happening. And we don't know how to tell them, I'm with you because I feel safe. And when you speak to me like that, I don't feel safe, and my body's reacting to that. My body's having a
Those words.
Right.
my body's having a physical response of turn off because I don't feel I'm in survival now. I'm not in sexy. So that happens a lot.
And don't they say that like foreplay for women starts the beginning of the day and goes through? It's like, it's the soft touches, it's the sweet words, it's the good morning text. But when you have the unkind attitude or things like that.
Yep. And we teach couples daily rituals and we teach them also to make daily rituals up so that there's always a good start to the day and always a good end to the day, no matter what. It's not the same thing as never go to sleep angry.
Yeah,
It's
angry.
not that. It's really that no matter what, we are going to return to love, and we're going to have a small ritual before we say goodnight.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
like
We are out of time for this episode, but I want people to be able to find you, Laurie.
Yeah.
And I want to
Wonderful.
make sure that we
Find
follow
me.
up with you on another episode because this
For
is
sure.
unbelievably helpful.
Thank
So where
you.
can everyone find you?
They can find me at lauriehandlers.com.
And that's with an S at the end.
S at the end,
Handlers.
handlers, yes. They can find me at extraordinarylovers.com.
Everyone.
They can find me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and they can Google me. What I want to say to you is I would be happy to send you a link to one of my YouTube videos about emotional release.
Yes, please do. And we'll go ahead and throw
Yeah,
that on our,
that'd be perfect. We'll throw that on there.
But also, we've been having a whole bunch of webinars on Extraordinary Lovers, and I'd love to be able to give you that link. We have like free webinars where people can come and get an idea of this is what we're addressing. Is this for you, whether you're single or coupled? Is your picker broken if you're single? And if you're coupled, are you just frozen in some war that you didn't even start? Can you return to love? We'll show you how.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Laurie.
You're such an inspiration, and it would
Thank
be
you.
so fun to be at one of her workshops,
Yes,
wouldn't
yes, yes.
If it's not fun, I don't do it.
it? Right.
I love that.
100%.
Cheers to you.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Talk
thank you
soon.
so much, both. Bye.
Bye.